Give it the true shot. I want 7.5 million over my head, money hitting under my bed. Baby, let me talk about it, let me talk about it, let me talk about it. I'ma grind on heavy till the fam get fed. They gotta be good when I'm dead, man. Let me talk about it, let me talk about it, let me talk about it. I'ma grind on heavy till the fam get fed. They gotta be good when I'm dead, man. Let me talk about it, let me talk about it, let me talk about it.
I always used to say that, man. Like, that one person in the audience.
Man, everyone be laughing. You'll see that one person just.
I try to get the one that's cracking up for no reason every time.
Yeah.
All right, let me see, man. So I'm gonna fix my hair because I'm the only one with hair.
Oh man, I'm over here hair envy. Like, come on, man. Why he gotta have luscious lion hair? I'm over here scalped up. I told some dudes like this dude last night. I said, man, you got good hair. It's all white, man. I said, you got that good hair. You got that mare hair. Like you go around kissing black babies. I said, I just use lotion for my hair, but your stuff is right.
Yeah, man.
You know, them old white dudes got that crisp.
When they do like that, they lick 4 of their fingers and then go across their head.
It's like a certain decade where that hair is just there. You know, they could take it off and it just be there. Man.
All right, man, let's see. We can get started. So I always wanted to do this, Mello, so like just rock with me for a second.
All right, yeah, hey, do your thing, man.
So, you know, I was a Def Comedy Jam head growing up. I ain't talking about the D.L. Hughley host or the Mike Epps host. Talking about Martin. So, all right, so let me see. There's a little mix. All right. So, all right, y'all. This next dude right here, man, he's been ripping the stage for over 20 years. Right, 20, right?
That's right.
All right, cool. I'm on it. Started out as a legendary Charlie Goodnights right out here in Raleigh, North Carolina. So you know he got that real comedy pedigree. He done toured with heavyweights like Russell Peters, Tracy Morgan, and shared the stage with legends like Dave Chappelle, Ralphie May, and Damon Wayans, as we was just talking about off air. He's got that smooth, laid back, mellow, hello, Mo Better Blues, cello. But don't get it twisted. He is sharp and witty at the same time. He'll have you laughing before you even realize what hit you. He's been a finalist on NBC's Stand Up for Diversity, has been on D.L. Hughley Speak Easily show. Shout out to D.L. Hughley. And if you listen to Sirius XM, then you already know his voice. North Carolina, stand up. Everybody else, buckle up, make some noise, show some love, and give it up for my guy, Mello, Mike, Miller, Mello again. Appreciate you coming out,
man.
Bro.
Thanks for having me, man. I feel like I need to go down the line.
Yeah, man.
That, you know what I'm saying? The NBA Jam playing in the back.
See, I always wanted to do that, man. So I had a little Trues and Kid Capri in there. I ain't had, you know.
Kid Capri in there? I heard it. Yeah, that's all you need. That's all you need.
How you been, bro?
I'm good, man. How you been?
Man, it's been a ride, man. I just recently experienced my first major death in my family.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, man. My cousin, shout out to Daryl Mathis Jr. He passed away March 22nd. So you know, these last few weeks has been a ride. Prior to you coming, I was working on like a post to try to explain it, and but these last few weeks has been the busiest of my photography career. It's strangely, because when I found out of his passing, I was shooting a fashion show in Charlotte, and I came back from the fashion show and I had to shoot 2 corporate events in a week, and then after that I had to do some corporate headshots for another company. And I did Dreamville. So
well, you working.
I've been working, but it's just like, you know, having this opportunity to sit down with you being a comedian, and that comedic drug flows through my veins as well, I think is going to be super therapeutic that you're here today.
Absolutely.
For those who don't know, I've seen Mello maybe like 4 or 5 times out here. I've been living here for, 8 years or so, and I've seen Mike at the at the Good Nights first as a, I think he was an opener at the time. I don't think you were hosting. Okay. And me and my wife, we walked away, man. We was just like, man, we got this guy, man. We ain't never seen this dude. Never heard of you before.
Yeah.
And, you know, and it's like that sometimes, you know, when you from different cities and states. You know, I'm originally from Jersey.
Okay.
So, you know what I mean? I got that Ricky Haddon and all of them, you know, in my blood a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that up, you know, Naeem Lynn. Mm-hmm. So, you know, those comedic geniuses, you know, Kevin Hart. I love those type of guys because they have that northern and that, you know, and we bring that little rugged raw in there. So,
absolutely.
You know, coming down south, it was like, man, it's dope to see a comedian that actually can make me laugh, like walking out like, oh, yo, you remember these? And I don't need the edible. When I'm looking at you, I can literally come in sober and still come out laughing because sometimes I gotta take
that
one.
makes me feel really good right there, bro. I appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
Thank you, man.
But yeah, man. Tell me, you know, before I even crack open the pad with the questions, I just really want to know, man, like, how are you doing as an individual, as a person? You know, people follow you. I know that they're following your journey, your new embark journey. Yeah. And, you know, for those who don't know, man, I sound like Kirk Franklin. For those who don't know, you know, feel free to share, man, what you're going through right now. And
well, you know, like life, you know, life comes at you in so many different ways. Right now I'm going through kidney disease. I'm in stage 5 chronic kidney disease, which is the lowest form. So now I'm about to start like a new journey on that with dialysis and then trying to get a kidney transplant. Yeah. So I'm at the very beginning stages of that. Yeah. So just had surgeries to get all the access in my arm and everything. Been numb to it. Yeah. You know, just kind of like, just got to do what you got to do. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it's like, man, you know, you just take a step back when you're in the hospital, especially getting the surgeries. You're just like, oh man, you know, what now? Yeah. You know, so, but I've always had that outlook of just gotta do what you gotta do to keep it rolling. You know, so I have a great supporting cast. Like the comedy community is great. Yeah. Like so many people come up to me, it's like, man, you can have my kidney. It's like, man, I see the girls you date. I don't want your kidney, man. Like, I don't know if that will affect my judgment or not.
I see what you be drinking.
Yeah,
you
man.
be coming to my shows, man. I don't know if I want drinking.
That. I see you be hanging out with. I picked the smallest thing. Now it's funny, like, you know, that would change my life.
Right,
like, bring me back to a normal life.
Yeah, yeah.
And here I am being super picky, like, nah, bro, your eyebrow crooked or something, you know.
But you out the streets checking out kidney bodies.
I know, like
hey, man, let's see if they curve
candidate right there.
They, all right, I see what they working with.
Yeah. It's like I'm about to do some merch for it. Like, hey, you get 3 T-shirts if you give me your kidney. Bruh,
you know, people will do it. I just recently heard about Nate Robinson.
What happened, Nate?
No, so you know Nate was battling kidney.
Oh, really?
Kidney failure. Mm-hmm. And he found a donor. This guy, random guy. And that's what I've also noticed. Like, it'd be random people that will give you their kidney. Yeah. So he was in bad shape. Like, if you go back and watch when he first announced it, all the way up until he got his kidney, and he made an announcement that some guy just out of nowhere, he got his kidney.
That's
so he's
awesome.
on to recovery right now. So good. A close friend of my wife and I, named BJ, shout out to BJ Walker. He's in Georgia. He's, you know, going through kidney dialysis and all of that stuff right now. And he's, you know, looking to get a transplant. So, you know, I can only imagine what you're going through.
Yeah, you know, and it's at the beginning stages. So it's like, it's just starting to really hit me. Yeah. About everything. But also, you know, it's like, you know, it gives me another outlook, a different outlook on life.
Right.
And my passion.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you know, I'm already 52. So it's like, you know, one day I'm just sitting there thinking, it's like, man, I've lived more days than I got. You know, so it's like, what are you going to do with it? Yeah. So now it's like it got this new energy. Yeah. It's an uplifting energy. You know, it still have to settle down, you know, and be like, look, take care of what you need to. But now it's like, I'm like, all right, let's go get it. Yeah. You know, so it's like, in a way it's bad health-wise, but in a way mentally it's like put me in that zone to where it's like, all right, if you want to do the things you need to do, let's get it moving.
Right. What are one of those things that you're wanting to tap into more now than you thought about prior to the diagnosis?
Absolutely. Yeah. So it's like, it's double-edged sword.
Yeah.
I hate it. It took me to get this mindset, but sometimes that's just how life is.
Yeah. Do you have a new bucket list now?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's new, but it's urgent.
What's a few things that's on it?
I mean, got to get that Netflix special or something like that.
Yeah.
Movie.
Yeah.
And still there's a few comics I want to work with.
Yeah.
But I want to write and direct a movie. That's my goal. I've been working on something for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
Send it to a friend, he'll look at it and then he'll bleed on it and send it back. He'll just be like, fix all this.
Right.
So I got to start over, but.
What are some of the challenges with writing, script writing and things like that you're sending over? Like, what are those things that's bleeding into the sheet that they're putting on that they're having you try to work on?
Just like more detailed.
Okay.
Because I'm like, here, check this out. And he's like, no, man, we get it a little deeper.
Yeah.
Need something a little more deeper, with more substance. Because I'm just like, let's do funny. And it's like, yeah, funny's good, but you want the meat. Where's the meat? So to find that, I guess, that touching part of a story, that's something that grabs people and holds them. Yeah. I think for me is the goal, but also it's like trying to get it to where I want it. Yeah. And it's just layers that he's peeling off, trying to get to whatever it is I really want in this script, because he knows me better than anybody. Okay. And he's like, yeah, this is good, but this ain't really what you want.
Yeah, this ain't Mello.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, all right, cool.
What do you think could be that challenge, though? Do you think it's writer's block, or do you think, like, I'm scared, and I'm going to use that lightly, I'm scared to dive into me more for this script?
Absolutely. All of it, but especially that, because I'm not, I guess when I started comedy, I was just being funny, and it took me a minute. Like you said, you've done comedy, so to be vulnerable. Yeah. And then when I was going through my first stuff with the testicular cancer and everything, like that's my first time I ever opened up about myself on stage. And then when my dad got sick with dementia, I started talking about that. I think it started with him.
In the car. That's who you was driving in the car. Okay.
Yeah. So that's what really got it started, was talking about my dad. And then it's like, oh, I'm talking about my life. Yeah. And then I started talking about me. And then, but there's only so much, I'm a very private person. But now it's like, somebody shut him up.
You like Kobe Bryant, he retired. And Kobe was into the media more, talked to people more. He opened up more. When he was Mamba on that court, you couldn't get him to open up at all. So
it's that zone,
kind of zone that you in right now.
Yeah, and it's like being in this business, relationships are hard, and it's funny because now, at least the last 10 years or so, girls will be getting mad because it's like, hey, you don't tell me nothing, but then you go up on stage,
you say it all,
because I'm like, well, it's different. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, these people don't know if it's real or
and
not.
then not even mention that's a stage for you is solitude. It's like, all right, let me get on here. This is where I'm comfortable at. Like, you would probably rather be on a stage than in a room with 100 white people and it's just you in there and they're not telling you to tell jokes. They're just saying, yo, sit right here, sir. Yeah. And they're over there chit chat. You sit there like,
growing up in Cary, I'm used to that. But I've been in this situation before. I know how to handle this.
Man, real quick, man. Tell you, so you just made me think about it. So my kids, they've been growing up here in this area, Chapel Hill and Cary, and I had to take them to Jersey with me to the funeral.
It's a culture shock.
I'm from Newark, New Jersey. So if you ever been out that way, it's like Camden, New Jersey. It's rough, real down. And I'm coaching them up. Like right before we get there, I'm like, hey, look, y'all, when we get out of the car, don't be playing around and trying to run around and all of that. I was like, we need to stay close because I don't know what can happen. I'm just trying to let them know, like, you're going to see some homeless people, you're going to see some people that's on drugs. I'm like, breaking it down to them. Man, we get out, man, Daddy, we see so many black people in one place. Wow, this is where you're from. They was excited.
That's dope.
And I was like, my wife, hey, I say, hey, babe, yo, they good. Like, they looking at me like, why you tripping?
Yeah, like, why didn't you bring us here sooner,
Ambulance and cops, you hear the sirens all day. And they're like, oh, they go another ambulance. They another police car.
Something popping off.
My son was just like, Daddy, why everybody walk like this? And I'm like, you gotta have an edge when you out here. He's just like, but everybody walk like that. I'm talking about everybody.
Even grandma up here.
Grandma walk like, yep, with the mouth tooted out and everything.
Yeah.
So he get out of the car, he start walking like that. I said, no, you don't walk like that. I'm like, I don't want these people out here like, why that little 9-year-old boy swinging like that?
Yeah.
So
he packing.
Yeah. So I was looking at that, man. But yeah, it can be socially awkward sometimes for certain individuals. When you're an extrovert at heart sometimes and you love to make people laugh, you're going to be the center of attention, and sometimes it's by default.
Yeah.
I got a few friends that's a little bit more extra than I am, so sometimes I have to dial back because I recognize, do you sometimes see yourself moving like that when you're around other comedians and you like, oh man, they go and let them do their thing. Like,
well, yeah, I mean, it's always a competition too.
Yeah.
But when somebody's fun, I'll sit back and listen.
Yeah.
I have no problem chilling. I'll just dive in for a second, but then I have no problem being in the back.
Right.
And especially like now, like doing comedy so much, like we're around people all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's funny. I was talking about this last night with another comic, and we're around people so much. Our peace time is very important. You've got to have alone time, and most of that's in the car, driving to a gig or after a gig. So it's like I gotta have that.
Yeah.
I gotta have that turned down. I don't have to be a center of attention all the time.
Right.
I can play the back. It's no problem. But like you said, being around a lot of people all the time, a lot of times I just try to hide.
Yeah.
Just be in the corner and just let them do their thing when it's my time. Before, like growing up, I was just like, let me get in here. Now it's just like, I'll go ahead with that. I'll be here when you need me.
Yeah.
But it also gives me a chance to sit back and watch.
Yeah.
Which is what we do.
Yeah.
So you got to have that time because that's where all the juices start flowing.
Yeah,
You're just sitting around, like I said, being in Cary, being around a bunch of white people, like, all right, I know what they thinking.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, then I hit them with the
what is that? What kind of dog is that? The smirky dog.
Yeah. It's like I told him, I will joke. I talk about I know how to, like anytime I'm in that situation, of being around a lot of white people like that, I always disarm them by doing what they do to me. Is that head nod, lip tug, mouth the word hello. It's just like,
how you doing?
It's like, he doesn't seem bad. It's just those little things like that. It'll turn the whole room around. Then you're like, all right, I'm safe. Let me get the hell out of here.
Yeah, but I know those moments, man. And sometimes, we're so admired though, by the opposite race. They look at us as pure geniuses sometimes, and sometimes it can be offensive. That's one of the things that I deal with sometimes in my corporate world is, sometimes they can look at it as a compliment, but to us, we're like, what's that supposed to mean?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
With you having that diversity skill set with your comedy, because, coming to your shows, you got a mix of people, kind of reminds me of a Dave Chappelle audience when I see you at your performances. So I guess we could start from like when you started, because you've been doing comedy since you were 30. So how did that audience shift, or did it ever shift? Did you always have that audience like Dave Chappelle, or were you on a Martin Lawrence audience and Chris Rock audience? and then kind of transcended? How did that look?
It was kind of both happen at the same time. Like Good Nights is a very diverse club, but when I started, Terry Tuff used to do radio. He was on Comic View with Ricky Smiley.
Okay.
Back in the day, he used to do like almost like a chocolate Sundays at Good Nights.
Chocolate Sundays is in L.A., right?
In L.A.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't make it out
At
there. I
Laugh
went
Factory.
last year, but I didn't get a chance to make it there.
Yeah, great. So it's like we had that on Sunday nights, and when I started, he would have me host. Me and this other guy, Derek DT Thompson, very funny, just moved here from New York. But so we would do shows like just straight up urban shows, black shows. And so I was with some more, Janthony Brown, like Ricky Smiley, all these guys would come in. And that's where
heavy hitters.
Yeah, and I wasn't doing so well, like with a predominantly black crowd. And I'm like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it. You know, it's like, I mean, I was doing okay. I was doing enough to be a decent host, but I wasn't getting them. And so it took me a minute. You know, it's like, I just don't, these are my people. Like,
Yeah. Why they not clicking with me?
You know, and it was me. I knew it was me, but I just didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
And I remember there was one show, oh man, the manager, I think it was some more. I was there an hour early. I'm like all excited, like, man, some more's here. And everything. I'm like, she fine, you know. I'm like, getting ready. I'm there early.
She like 70 and still fine, right?
Man, she looks so good. Well, you know who her sister is?
Who?
Nia Long.
I didn't know that they were sisters.
Man, the whole fam, like all the girls.
They just drinking noni juice. That's why they stay looking like the way they look.
Man, so she had another sister there with her that looked more like Nia, but taller and skinny. But it was crazy.
They were sisters, yo.
So I'm sitting up there like,
shout out to Nia Long and some more.
Nia, I love you.
I hope some more when she come out here, man. She'll sit down with me, man.
She's coming too, right?
She's supposed to be coming soon, man.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm gonna let you continue. But I'll tell you something off camera.
All right. So yeah, I remember. I'm like, all right, I got my set, and then right before they're about to say my name, her manager's like, "Here's what you can't say," and just. Can't do this, can't do that, can't, and it's just tearing my set apart.
What was one of the can'ts?
Cursing, which is no problem. But you know, when you like, all right, now I gotta edit that.
Yeah, you gotta edit.
Can't talk about sex. I'm like, all right, gotta edit that.
Salt and pepper.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like everything.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like, it's not a problem, but as soon as he finishes, like, put your hands together for your host. And I'm like, bruh.
Right. Why they do that?
So I'm just walking up trying to edit, and then I remember the first thing out of my mouth, it was just like nothing. It was just like,
but like a setup.
Yeah, but I think it was, I was working with Bruce where it all clicked. Because when I started, I was a one-liner comic.
Okay.
And then went into more storytelling.
Got you. One-liner meaning like for those who doesn't know what one-liner mean, I'm gonna let you explain what one-liner.
Just a very quick joke, like Rodney Dangerfield type. You
got
know, like
got
just straight up,
with
boom,
the
boom, boom. Yeah.
Okay.
And then like once I got comfortable, I started telling more stories. But I realized I started off telling stories at an urban show, you know, at a black show, and they're like, "Where the funny at?"
Yeah. They're looking for
like
a shorter story because our attention span be
get
like,
me,
all right,
get me there.
Come on, bro.
You have to get them within the first 30 seconds.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? Because otherwise they're like, what are you talking about, man? Oh, this mom talking about growth? Like, you know, but it took me a minute. You know, we grow as we get up. And I just remember it just clicked. I was mad.
Okay.
Like, you're going to write my stuff down.
Right. So you came out uber aggressive.
I came out with just like rapid fire jokes, and I had them, and then I went into story mode. And then I was like, oh.
That was it.
That
you
was
had
it.
A light bulb moment.
Yeah, you know, it was just like, oh, be funny up front.
Yeah.
Don't just come in and start telling stories and nobody know who you are.
Right.
You know, so boom, hit them quick. Next thing you know, they're on your side. Then you can do whatever you want. You can go this way. So it was a fun learning curve, but I always was like, you know, I grew up with Def Jam and, you know, I always listened to Richard Pryor records and, you know, all the Red Foxx, you know, my dad's albums and stuff. So it was like, it was heartbreaking.
What was your favorite Def Jam moment?
Oh, man, gotta be Bernie Mac, man. But then Chris Tucker.
I ain't scared of you, mom.
Man, Chris Tucker, when he came out with the Rats and Rope, you know, like.
Chris Tucker said, man, he said, come on, Michael. He said, what are you doing, the pimp? Michael Jackson was the pimp.
You know,
Man, get on it.
I mean,
Say,
there's
come on, Tito.
so many classic. Like,
Martin coming out with his underwear. You remember that?
Yeah.
He came out, he started dancing. He started dancing with everybody, man. Def Comedy Jam, man.
There was a chick on there. God, I hope I can remember her name. Coco Brown, maybe? Mm-hmm. She did a joke. She was just talking. You know, like people out here, she go in her shirt, pulled out a glass, went in her shirt, pulled out a bag of ice, pulled out all under her titty, then pulled out an orange juice, then pulled out a whole fifth of vodka, and made herself a screwdriver and said, cheers. I was like, she goes, little titty girls don't, you can't
Y'all
do
can't
that.
do that.
But it was just like, yo, what else she got?
Yo.
You know, it's just like,
Yo, Def Comedy Jam, people was bringing the heat, like you mentioned Bernie Mac earlier, which Bernie Mac, shout out to Bernie Mac, rest in peace. He was a GOAT, and man, I try to get the kids to watch his Bernie Mac show.
It's still great.
They can't. But it's something about this generation, they just can't sit down and watch.
Oh, their attention spans like
yeah. So, but yeah, I'll still watch his show, man, just to see how he was talking to the kids, man.
It holds up. It holds up, man. Bernie, that one broke my heart.
Yeah, man.
You know, and how it happened, because he was really just starting.
Yep, he about to get into his stride.
Yeah, you know, it's like, oh man, he ain't
hit the surface yet, man. Yeah. He got off that Kings of Comedy. You seen those movies like The Soul Man and all of that stuff, which is a underrated funny movie.
Soul Man?
It's like the Soul Brothers or something like that.
Oh yeah,
with
yeah.
him, Samuel Jackson.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Man, that movie was funny. I don't care what nobody say. I love Bernie Mac in all the movies that he played in. Who's your all-time favorite comedian?
That's a tough one, man.
Who's your go-to? Like you mentioned Richard Pryor earlier.
Mm-hmm. Richard was the first one I heard that it made sense.
Okay. He's the ultimate vulnerable comedian.
Yeah, well, it's funny because I was like 7, got up in the middle of the night to go get some water and heard my parents laughing hysterically.
Oh, word.
And I'm like, they don't ever laugh around me.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, my kids can't say that.
Yeah.
I wish I was a little bit more stoic around them, but nah.
Yeah. But it was, I mean, just how they were laughing.
Yeah.
And so.
Gut laughing?
Oh, yeah. And, you know, just hear my mom tickle like that. And I was like, what are they listening to? So I sat in the other side of the kitchen because there's like an island there. They couldn't see me.
And you were watching it?
I was just listening.
Oh, okay.
And it sounded like music to me. I could hear the rhythm of his, you know, I can almost tell when you're supposed to, like, I didn't know half the stuff he was talking about.
Right.
You know, being that young, but I could hear the rhythm.
You could hear when he was like wrapping up his joke, when he was about to deliver and all of that.
It sounded like music to me. So, but yeah, I was just fortunate enough to have, like, I'm youngest of 8 kids, so.
You the youngest out of all? Wow.
So it's like all my oldest brothers and sisters and my parents, you know, just the different comedy that was thrown at me, you know, at such a young age, because I grew up, you know, like Tonight Show, of course, Johnny Carson, you know, I used to love watching him bomb.
Right.
Because he was just as funny bombing jokes as he was telling good jokes. So you almost look forward to him, you know, telling a bad joke. But Richard Pryor records, Bill Cosby, you know, like I said, Red Fox. And then, of course, Eddie.
Yeah.
You know, Eddie, I was the cassette and just listen to it, envision myself doing his jokes. Not knowing, I'm teaching myself how to write. As I'm like, oh, that's funny, but I would have said this instead of that. You know? So I'm like, it's funny because like me and my buddy were talking about, I was like, man, I'm in school thinking the night before, like, oh, I'm just going to kill tomorrow at school, you know? So it's like, I'm doing sets already, but not really knowing I'm doing sets.
Right.
So I guess I would say, like, I mean, I'm just all over the place when it comes to comedy, but definitely Richard, Eddie were probably the 2 most influential.
Yeah. Richard and Eddie.
And Cosby.
Okay.
Even till today, still today, like my brothers and sisters will call each other, you know, and they'll be like, what you having dinner? Be like, chocolate cake, Dad. You know, still today. Y'all having chocolate cake?
It's timeless.
It's timeless, you know.
It's timeless, man. I grew up, I got exposed to Richard Pryor through movies first. So The Toy was one of the first ones.
That's one of my favorite movies.
Yep, and See No Evil, Hear No Evil. Harlem Nights.
Yep.
And I would run through. He had another one he did with Richard Gere.
Silver Street.
And but yeah, it was just I would watch his movies, and he was a bus driver in one. What was that joint, man? That was
the
early
one with the blind kids.
Yeah, it's like
Busting loose.
And so then I was like watching his stand-ups when I got older, and I'm like, yo, this dude always been funny. Like, he was funny
No matter what. You ever seen Bingo in the All-Star Game?
No.
Check that one out.
Been going to an All-Star game.
Bingo at an All-Star game. Man, you got to.
This episode of In True Form is brought to you by Super Deodorant. The aluminum-free, fragrance-free deodorant that actually works. You just put this under your armpits. Promise you. You know what I'm saying? Whether you're on stage or in the gym or chasing purpose, Super Deodorant has your back and your pits. No harsh chemicals, no irritation, just confidence that lasts. Visit superdeodorant.com/intrueform. And if you sign up today, you'll get 10% off your first order. Smell less, do more. Peace.
Yeah.
So you were saying Silver Street. First, it was one of the first Richard Pryor movies that you saw.
Well, that was one of my favorites.
One of the favorites.
The first one I saw was Bingo in the All-Star Game.
Okay.
And then all the movies after that. But yeah, that is just like that's when you saw Richard as being a talent. That's when I realized what talent was.
Yeah.
When you go from listening to his albums and then seeing him on TV, you're like, oh, you know.
Yep. Yeah,
So.
man. Richard, I can't even explain it, man. Like, just watching his stuff.
Well, he's what comedy is today.
Right.
He changed the game.
It's like everybody wants to be like Rich.
That's like, because everything before was like, you know, I said Ronnie Dangerfield, like, just quick, you're like, hey, man, you know.
Yeah.
And then he was the first one that came out and brought the realness to it. Mm-hmm. And so I think after that, everyone's like, that's just changed the whole game.
Right.
I mean, we still have our others, but I think a lot of people now are mixing them because, like, to talk about it yourself like that on stage and the characters.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like
it's like you're beating everybody to the punchline on you. Mm-hmm. It's like, what I mean by that is like, you know, I had a bully when I grew up. Mm-hmm. So I said, fifth grade, I had this bully there, and I ain't gonna give him no name because I don't want him to know. I still remember it. When I was in fifth grade,
I'm gonna tell all my business. No,
so, but nah, it allowed me to see that you can have a dark place in the comedy world. Mm-hmm. And it's so weird because that cliche is like, you know, if you've been hurt before, or if you've gone through struggles and tough times, that's where the humor comes in at, because you got to bury the pain with the humor. Did you go through any traumatic processes through life to basically tap into your humor side? You
Absolutely.
able to delve into that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. Growing up, my mom was an alcoholic. And, you know, being that young, you don't really understand it. And you try to hide it, try to hide your feelings. So when I go to school, I started being funny to hide the fact that I was shitty at home, you know, or like going through shit at home. So it's kind of like the comic origin story. You know? Like some crazy shit happens and then you find humor to deal with it. And that's how I did, you know, like I think that's honestly the only reason why I was funny is because I just didn't want people to know
that you was dealing with that.
Yeah. So going to school, being funny, made it seem like everything was good at home.
Yep. It was the same for me, man. So my dad and my mother, they had a lot going on. My dad was on drugs, and my mom would work, you know, for hours. She worked at a law firm, so she was hardly home. And then when they got around each other, there was arguments, and And, you know, I'll be staying up until 3 o'clock in the morning and hearing them argue, and, you know, my dad get kicked out, and then he'll come back, and then we're moving from school to school, man. I was in like 3 or 4 different elementary schools, 3 middle schools, 2 high schools. And that trauma that I dealt with, I always was the goofy one in class. I was always the one that makes everybody laugh. And it was really because, yo, it's whack at home. Like, yo,
it's
like,
almost like you're pouring out something that you want in others that brings you joy. You know, it's almost like, let me make them laugh, because then it makes you feel good, and then you forget about it, and then you go home. You know,
you won't know you're in a dark place until you had that jive out session with somebody, and you dig a little too deep in the punchline, and they looking at you like, yo, you good?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's like, I just lost it for a hot second, but I'm back now.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. You know, but you got to let it out.
Yeah,
you know?
man.
And I think that's one thing comedy's done for me, is helped me out. Along the lines, now it's like, shut up. You know, now it's like, all right, you're telling too much.
Yeah.
So I like to reserve, you know, I don't tell everybody everything. Not everyone needs to know everything.
Right.
But comedy definitely helped me deal with the situations I was going through, and being the youngest in the family. So like, between me and the next, there's like a set of twins before me, that's 5 years. So just that 5-year difference, to be the youngest of 8, it felt like, with that age difference, it felt like the only child in a house full.
Yeah, you felt like you was alone.
Yeah, you know, I was alone.
Sometimes you wasn't being seen.
Yeah, you know, but not only that, I was alone a lot, because like, once my brother and sister got old enough to where they were out.
Right.
You know,
they 10 years old, you 5. You they
know what I'm
outside.
saying? Yeah, so it's like I'm by myself a lot. So I think that helped me develop the mindset for trying to be funny, going to school, like I'm just want to be, you know, like whatever. And then, I just think it kind of cultivated. It's funny because I didn't start comedy till I was 30.
Yeah.
Even though it was something I always wanted to do.
Right.
And it took me going to jail to be like, all right.
How long were you in jail for?
I went in jail for like a week. That's all I needed.
Bro, you said, took me going to jail, man. I mean, I'm expecting, like, man, I did about 3 years,
4 years.
Man.
Yeah, I was in there about
like,
5 hours.
About a few hours, man. Just a fender bender, man.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, man. You know, I was acting out. I was acting out during this time, and doing dumb shit. And my brother Robert, we talked on camera about, he's like my second dad. He came to bail me out. And while I was in there, I met some very interesting people. And I was funny in there, because I was thinking, like, ain't no one gonna get me. If I'm funny, they ain't gonna fuck with me.
Right.
But I remember my brother bailed me out. He was so disappointed in me, you know. And I'm just like, he's like, man, he took me to McDonald's, and he's like, what are you gonna do with your life, man?
Yeah.
I was like, well, he goes, I want to hear it. He pulls a napkin out and a pen. He goes,
Put it right on the napkin.
And I did. And he folded it up, put it in. We just finished eating. 3 years into comedy, he comes to a show, and he gives me that napkin. And I open it up, and it says, I want to do comedy. And I was like, bro, why you going to do this before a show, man? I got to go up here and talk to people.
That's emotional, bro.
Yeah, it is, man.
Because it's like, oh, snap.
Yeah, he's like, you're doing it. You know, so that was definitely motivation.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, and, you know, I think it sucks because my older siblings knew I was going through something, but they weren't around to help me.
Right. They was already in their life.
Yeah.
That brings me to ask this question. And it just struck something. So, you being the youngest, and your older siblings having that large age gap, you know, they probably, you know, went off and got married, had their families. How did you navigate as the younger sibling in adapting to the fact that you just can't pick up the phone and call your older sibling that has a family and things like that, and they can't stop what they're doing and help you out.
Yeah, I mean,
how was that to you as a younger sibling?
For me, I just was like, I just got to do what I got to do. You know.
Did you create resentment towards your older siblings?
No. I wouldn't say resentment. Like my oldest brother, Tony, he super smart, genius. He went to the Navy when I was really young. And like I just felt like I never really got a chance to hang with him until later, you know. But he would come home, and you know, I see him on leave, and all the girls go, "Hey, your brother fine," and I'm like, "Go back." Get it? Because all the girls were swoon over him, you know.
Yeah. Especially when they come with that suit.
Oh man, this bro be
I
killing
love a
him.
man in the suit.
I hated
That's
him.
like the wackest line that these
like,
girls be saying now. They don't even care no more. You don't never hear that no more. You hear the money, the credit.
Yeah, you don't hear like,
before. It used to be like, I like a man in a uniform. That's it. That was your generation.
Yeah, I know. Now it's like I like a man with a uniform, like with a dollar bill uniform.
Everything. I like a man with 3 million followers. He got a uniform on, but he don't gotta have the full top. Just you could just have the bottoms.
Yeah. But yeah, I never really had resentment because there was always somebody there.
Yeah.
You know, so it would just suck because I always wanted to hang out with them, but they were just never there.
Yeah.
But I always had somebody.
Yeah.
That was the good thing about it. Is like there was always somebody there.
Yeah.
So like my brother Mark, who's the one next up to me, he's a twin. He took not liking to me, but he took me under his wing. So like in high school, like middle school, high school, he would be the one to come scoop me up and take me to the college clubs.
That's what's up.
So I'm like, oh, okay, I'm the man. So I remember one time, you go to high school clubs, I had my hammer pants, turtleneck, my damn Gumby
cut.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, I'm killing my brother. Like, hey man, we're going to the college club. I'm like, yeah. Oh man, I'm fly. I go in there, I'm the only one dressed like that.
Oh my God.
Got the steel-toed shoes on, man.
But you stood out.
I stood out for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
I'm up here like, everyone's like, what is this dude doing? I'm up here
doing
ready.
all that, but they dancing slow over there.
I'm over here like, y'all don't want none of this, And they're like, no, we don't. But, he helped me out with that. So it wasn't really any resentment. It was just more of, man, I just want to see them more.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I was very fortunate to have at least somebody there.
That's good.
At the time, but like I said, a lot of times I just be in the yard, imagining playing like a kid, just out there using my imagination. And I think just those combination of things just boiled over to where I'm become today.
Right.
So it's kind of neat. It kind of sucks, how I got there. But it's like me and my buddy talking about how you do this shit happy.
Yo, it's tough.
But I mean, there's plenty of people who are happy who don't go through trauma and do comedy. But to me,
it's a lot of. So Marlon Wayans is one of my favorite comedians.
He's great
shout out
too.
to Marlon.
Shout out to him. He's funny.
Man, he came to Good Nights one time though, and you could tell he was working on his material, but he was also dealing with his transgender daughter. And, he talks about that a lot in his stand-up, and you could just tell he was still coping and dealing with it and
trying to figure out how to talk about it.
Yeah, and when I've seen, me and my wife seen Marlon 3 times, I think, live, and I watched all his stuff. Then he comes out with the stand-up, but we walked away from that like, he was in a dark space on that stage.
Yeah,
but it's. Like, do you ever feel that way sometimes? Like, do you ever get on stage and you're like, all right, I'm about to work through this material, but it's like, hey, whatever way it comes out, like.
Oh yeah, it's like you let it happen. You're searching for the funny. Yeah. Sometimes it ain't. You just got to get it out to find the funny, or at least get the rhythm of something. But yeah, absolutely. Like, especially when I was going through them taking my ball away, like as soon as they were like, yeah, this is what we're gonna have, this is what's happening. I immediately started talking about it. Yeah. And a lot of people at the club were like, yo, you just found out about it. I was like, it's on my mind. Yeah. I don't know where the funny is, but I gotta talk about it. Right. So I was going up on stage with just my feelings. Yeah. trying to find it. And I think a lot of people looking at me during those first few weeks of it, like, you good, bro?
Yeah.
Saying,
But I know all the ladies was probably like, I want to see.
Well, it's funny. What's
Coming
funny
up
with
after
that?
each other.
Yeah.
Can I see if you got one? Like,
Well, it's funny. It's like I'll talk about it on stage, and people are like, you lying.
right then,
Like, why would I
prove it?
Yeah, right. And it's mostly dudes. I'm like, bruh. He's like, you ain't got. Let me see it. Like, I don't even know. First of all, let me get your name first, sir. You just come up demanding. Because like one of the things I say at my show is like, look, I don't have any merch, you know, but you can look at it for $5. You can touch it for 10. Pictures of 20. And it's always a dude with a $10 bill.
you wanna know.
Yeah, it's a dude like this, holding the bill up. And I'm like, not one female. Females be on the slide with it.
They ain't gonna tell everybody they want to see it. They
dudes
gonna
be like this, hey, yo, over here, dog. Like, they ain't selling peanuts, bro. He's over here like, hey,
yo.
let me get that. I was like, I'll take that 10. You can look at it.
Yo, that's hilarious, man.
But yeah, I mean, it's like you just try to find it.
Right,
you know? And especially if you're just going through it. But I would have loved to seen that because the funnest part about, I guess, what we do is the journey to get, one, to find the funny. Mm-hmm. You know, for me, it's like, man, how am I going, where is it?
Yeah.
You know, it's like digging through all that to find that nugget. So I would have loved to seen Marlon. I got to work with him. And yeah, man, he puts it out there.
Yeah.
You know, and I appreciate that.
Yeah,
and
he's
it helps
super
me
vulnerable on the stage.
Yeah.
My man be crying. I forgot my man that tours with him. He always opens for him. He's always dope. But yeah, man, it's just, you can tell him being the youngest sibling, he also like, yo, I need y'all to see me when he on the stage. So yeah, his raw, rugged humor, talking about what we was talking about earlier, man, I grew up watching Living Color.
Yeah.
And man, when I
still watch it.
Yeah, when they brought in Marlon, I was like, oh, this show about to be even greater, because you've seen them slowly putting them in. Mm-hmm. But then it was like, some of the other characters was leaving. I'm like, it ain't gonna be the same. Man. They bringing in Marlon, but some of these folks is leaving. Yeah. But when they had that run, when they had Tommy Davidson and all of them on there, and then Jamie came in, I was like, yo, man, what you think about his new stand-up, man?
I didn't watch it yet.
No?
No, because I haven't had a chance to like be peace. Like anytime
it's gonna hit you then.
Oh yeah, I've heard
hit you like a ton of.
I've heard stuff, so I'm like, no, I need a day to where I have nothing.
Yeah.
And I've been going through a lot, so I've had nothing, and I just want to sit down and just.
Man, you gotta text me and let me know, hey, bro, I watched it.
Yeah, I've heard people like, man, and I'm like, I will. I gotta let the smoke die down a little bit and just be in my place to watch.
He was in his bag, bro.
Because his last special, I Might Need Security, is the reason why I was like, I got to do this now.
Really?
Yeah.
That was the inspiration.
That was like, man, because he looked like he was having a blast.
Bro, he had so much fun on
he
that
was
stage,
feeling them,
man.
you know, he had Any Given Sunday coming out.
He
was feeling himself.
Everything, man.
That whole Brady Bunch thing at the end, I was like, I gotta do this.
Yes, man. Like, and then he for the new stand-up, he paid homage to Run Tell That, Martin Lawrence. So, and I love Run Tell That. I love You So Crazy.
Yeah, You So Crazy.
But Run Tell That was definitely like, all right, y'all understand what I just went through. Mm-hmm. But still, I'm gonna hit you with the funny, boom, 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 and that's how Jamie did it.
This is my life, you know.
Yeah, that's how Jamie did it.
Good.
You got to do something like that, bro.
It's coming. I'm not there yet. I think I got to put myself out there a little more.
Yeah.
But
it's time to cultivate all the relationships that you've mustered up throughout your comedic journey, and then just blast it. I don't know if you just saw Just Niche just put out her special.
I haven't watched it
Amazon
yet, but
Prime.
God, she's so funny.
Man.
I got a crush on you, girl.
Man, shout out to Just Niche. She's amazing. I will consider her a friend. I did her photos when she came here.
Was it at Good Nights when she came?
She performed she did Good Nights. The first time we saw her was when she worked for D-Ray. Okay. She opened for D-Ray at Good Nights. Mm-hmm. But when she performed at Raleigh Improv, we came again to see her. We seen her probably about 3 or 4 times. But we came to see her, bought some merch from her and everything, and I offered a photo shoot for her, and I did her photos downtown Raleigh.
Nice.
Yeah, it came out super dope. I'll make sure I send you them joints so you can see
Yeah,
it.
man, that's my girl, man.
She's amazing, man.
She got out, first time I saw her, I was with her at Good Nights. I can't remember who else was on. Oh, it was like B. Simone.
Yeah, yep. She had B. Simone with her too.
Yeah,
she was on tour with her.
Yeah, so I got to work that
Shout
night.
out to B. Simone too.
Yeah, shout out to B. And that was my first time watching her live, and I was just like, I'm in love.
Yeah, one
She's
thing
so
about
funny,
her, man,
man.
she has her own jokes though. Like it's like she has memorable jokes. Like you're gonna be talking about these jokes, and in years down the line and stuff, man. But yeah, definitely, check her Amazon Prime out, man.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
super proud of her, man.
Who produced it? Didn't somebody?
D-Ray helped produce it. Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but she got a line of people, but it's just the concept that she had with the selfie process. Like because when she came here, she brought the joint on stage and she was like, "This my selfie, y'all," and we was like, "All right, I see the concept."
That's smart.
But she sold it, and she's been going crazy with it, man. So yeah, shout out to Just Niche. I really, really enjoy her. She's like, everything. Shout out to her son Cam too, who just started embarking in his photography journey.
Oh, nice.
So yeah,
okay. Photography's getting strong.
Hey man,
here.
we
getting strong out here.
Everybody want to be photographers, even the ones that don't wear no strap around their neck when they taking pictures. They just walk with they joint like that. They be thinking they photographers because they got a big camera in their hand.
Hey.
Shout out to those who really don't have like a photography name or a business, but y'all got the best camera on the market.
Shout out to that. Well, it's funny, like I said, my brother's a photographer, and man, he can't go nowhere without taking photos.
Yeah.
It's like
that's something I need to do more. Is bring my camera with me everywhere I go.
And now he does he does the phone. He does street photos. You should check him out. I'll send you his stuff.
Yeah. He be out in the area.
Well, he's in DC. He's the one that works for the Post.
Right. So
he. It's funny. Anytime he comes home to visit, he's like, "Hey, how you doing?" And everything. Then he's just like, "I'll be back." And just
yeah. Like I see the room.
Yeah.
We was talking about earlier how you could be in a room full of a whole bunch of people and they tell you they don't want you to tell jokes. It could be a little awkward. For me, it's hard for me to go to events and they don't got a photographer in the event.
Yeah, you're like, what?
I'll be like, yo, ain't nobody taking no pictures in here, yo. I be really like, cause I be like, yo, let me go get my camera real quick. And I go to the person and I be like, y'all got somebody here to take pictures? And they be like, no, we couldn't. But people don't think about photographers until the last minute.
Oh, we should have got pictures.
Yup, they do that. And
then they got a bunch of cell phone pictures with fingers and.
Bro, and I think that's what kind of keeps me going sometimes. I try to promote that to a lot of individuals. Like, hey, man, you need to get your photos done, man, because, like, my cousin, I was going through all my stuff looking for pictures that I took with him and all that stuff. But it's like you don't think about photos until you're really, really, really missing someone or you're thinking about someone. So you make sure you get you some up-to-date pictures if you ain't.
I was about to say, man. Yeah. I got your number.
I'll look out for you, man.
Yeah, we'll definitely. I also want you for some events too. So we'll talk about that.
Hey, real quick, I'm gonna take a quick break. After, if I have an ad, it may be an ad, but if not, don't worry about it.
We'll make one up.
Make one. but yeah, I'm gonna go through the last. So thank you all again for tuning in to this very special episode of In True Form. Again, I'm your host, Corey Truesdale. We have Mello Mike. If you guys have not tuned in to the beginning portion of this episode, I highly recommend. Don't just fast forward through. Also, click the like and subscribe button at the bottom of the YouTube page or on the side or the right-hand side, whichever one. And don't expect me to put it on the screen because I don't have enough technology individuals that's going to go in and put all that edit to work. So you just need to do your due diligence.
Put some work in.
Put some work in. But Mike, again, I appreciate you being here, man.
Thanks for having me, man.
I want to close out a few of these with these questions.
Okay.
So during your evolution of comedy in the 20 years of the individuals that you've been touring with, the likes name of D.L. Hewley, what have you learned from any of them? Like, what do you have any advice that Damon or any of them have given you that you walked away with? Or it don't even have to be, I would consider Damon and DL like an A-list celebrity. It can be someone on a B level or a C level that you still hold their advice or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Damon gave me some great advice as far as like my jokes. He was like, when you start talking about certain things or certain people, become that person. Like, I talk a lot about my dad. It's like, become your dad, be your dad, be that character. Don't just talk about him, be him, which helped out because, you know, it gives you that visual. And then, man, like, one of my favorite things I think I've learned from, I just watch sometimes, like, especially when I work with the bigger names, like Damon, watching Damon is just like, it's like poetry in motion, you know. You're just like, man, this guy, he just got it. Like, no matter what comes out of his mouth, it's fine. Billy Gardell from Mike and Molly. When I first started, he's like, man, it's just stage time and be true to yourself. It's like everything else will fall into place.
Yeah.
And Ralphie May taught me a cool trick. Rest in peace, Ralphie May, juggernaut. But yeah, how to deliver your jokes. You just don't say your jokes, it's how you deliver it. He brought up this idea of how to pull the crowd in. Like when you deliver your joke, like you start with the premise on this side, do the setup over here, and then always land in the punch in the middle. And you know, he's like, it could be just a look, or like Chris Rock, you see him like a cage animal going, but he always delivers in the middle.
He'd be looking in the audience like,
yeah, he'd be like, you know, like and then he'd just stop with the, you know, right in the middle.
Black Panther.
Yeah.
And they pace back and forth.
Oh, dude, it's crazy to watch, but it's just different forms of it that people do that once I saw that, it just really clicked because you're pulling people in. You want to talk to everybody.
Right.
You know, bring them in. So that and, yeah, man, I think it's just all those little tidbits people give me, they stick with you.
Yeah.
And it's cool because that's one thing about comedy is like everyone has their way. There's 20 different ways to get to one place.
Yeah.
You just got to find your way.
Right.
So, yeah, you just take a little bit from everybody. But I would say becoming the character I'm talking about helped me out. And I'm animated too.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm not overly animated, but I'm just enough. Like my favorite person on that is Cedric.
Cedric the Entertainer.
Man, like when he snatched up those sunflower seeds,
yeah.
and you couldn't see that one he spit out.
Yeah.
You know, you could see it, and he pulled that cord out the wall. You know, little things like that.
Yeah.
You know, you pick up on, and I think the more comfortable I got, the more I started doing that.
Shout out to Cedric the Entertainer.
Cedric, the beast.
Yeah, big dog.
Big dog. What up, D?
Yeah, man. You was mentioning earlier how Chris Rock paces the stage. And one other comedian that I truly admire, I really love watching his work, is Deon Cole.
Deon's so good.
One thing that I love about him, not only the fact that he writes his own jokes, but he stands right there in the middle of the stage and he's giving it to you. Yeah. He don't pace, he don't walk. So you hear those different kind of things, you know, coming up in the world. They like, well, you know, it's not really good to walk around the stage and it's not really good just to stand there, but that's an effective comedian. Chris Rock is an effective comedian that paces the entire time. He walks like this. Marlon Wayans would throw himself around on the ground, stand in the middle, walk and pace. What's your favorite type of style of a comedian on stage? Do you like the ones that's going to sit there like Paul Mooney and Deon Cole?
I like them all, man. Yeah. Like Paul Mooney, because those guys, you got their attention. Yeah. They got your attention, like, you know, because they command it. Right. But then you look at Tommy Davidson, this dude all over the place.
Oh, my God.
And then
it's
you're just
impersonations, man.
Yeah, you know, like, The last time I worked with Tommy, man, he did this Indian ding 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 ding, and
sound
it's
just like it,
so hilarious, man. I could watch it 1,000 times, and I would just die laughing. But
I see Tommy Davidson for the first time live at the Cat Williams tour in Greensboro, and I felt like he was the best one on stage.
he's so talented.
Yeah, he was doing the dog noises, like he sound like a dog, like a little chihuahua and stuff like that. He was doing like the white guys dance, like, but
The baby dance.
Yes, the baby dance when they all do like that. But you know, he used to do that in Living Color.
That's
when
him.
he was acting like a kid.
That's him.
I was
That's
like,
him.
yo,
he's a very physical.
Yes, man.
Very physical, and I love that.
I would love to meet him in person. I feel like he'll cut up. Like how we having this conversation, I feel like he'll do like that too.
He's oddly serious, and then he ain't.
Right.
It's just like something clicks.
You ever met him in person?
Oh yeah, I worked with him like 3-4 times.
That's what's up, man.
And he's one like he was one of the first ones. Like when I first worked with him, I was just like, oh my god, because he was the first comedy show I ever went to live. And he talked to me in the crowd. He was cracking on me. Like every time he walked by, he'd look at me, I'd just be like, man, please don't, Lord, please don't.
Oh,
He'd come back by. I was dating this girl, and he kept looking at me, and I'm like, don't do it, bro. And then finally he's like, what's up, man? I'm like, what's up? And I just remember beads of sweat.
Yep.
But it was funny. It was hilarious. And then I hate it because there's a bachelorette party next to us that ruined it. He was like, man, I'm sorry. I was having fun. But now I got to deal with these chicks. But working with him was just, because, like I said, I grew up watching him, and he did my favorite joke. And I couldn't believe he did it. I was like, man, I love this joke. But he was talking about being in the South at McDonald's.
Oh, okay.
And he was like, I was like, yeah, let me get a order of. I was like, shh, don't let them know you can read. You point to the.
Yeah. He did that.
Mess around and get us all fired, man. I was like, yes. But yeah, then you look at guys like that, and then you look at like Michael Collier.
Yeah. We've seen him a couple of times.
He's great. He's jokey, jokey.
Yeah.
And he's on all the time.
Yep. Yeah, man. He looked the same. Like how he looked when he was on Martin.
Shoot, Saturday Night Live. Not Saturday Night Live. Star Search.
Star Search, man. Jeez.
Yeah, he's a trip, and he don't play around with his money. As soon as that show's done, he's like, "Where's my money?"
Yeah, he looked like it. Like he'll do that though.
Oh no, he come out straight out to the
that's funny.
Merch booth and be like, "Don't leave. Let me get my money." But he's such a great person.
Right.
I got to work with him, and he was my old joke. I had a crackhead squirrel bit.
You said a crackhead squirrel?
Yeah. So the joke is, me and my friend, I was going down the street, and at first I thought I was a crackhead. At first I thought it was a squirrel, but I can't remember it now. But it was like, at first I saw this crackhead. At first I thought it was a squirrel wearing a dirty T-shirt. But then I was like, you know how squirrels and crackheads run across the street just alike, and then I would hop across the stage.
Yeah.
And he was like, brother, I love that crackhead joke. I used to be a crackhead, you know that, right? I love that crackhead, man.
He's serious.
Yeah, he's serious. Yeah, so it was like, and then he took a liking to me.
Yeah. And, he wasn't jotting like he did on the Martin episode. Martin said, "What you jotting?" He's like, "You jotting?" He's like, "Oh no, it's good, man. It's good stuff, man. Go for it."
Yeah.
Man, for that episode, man, that Martin episode with Varnell Hill.
Oh my God,
goes
Varnell
down in history, man.
Yeah, it's one of the best. Like Martin show, like
Catfish is delicious.
Yeah.
You remember that part? Catfish is delicious.
Yeah.
Martin broke character. He was like looking like.
That was what was fun about that show. How many times they be breaking?
Yeah, man. But they said that Martin used to bring in guests like David Allen Greer. Mm-hmm. He said Tommy Davidson, and he would challenge them to break his character. He's like, they used to take the challenge. Yeah. So when David Allen Greer was the preacher, you could see Martin in the audience. It was just like, he coming down the line.
Even he broke too.
Man, so, it was cool watching those episodes, man.
Yeah, Tommy always breaking too. Tommy couldn't hold his stuff together.
All right, so I got two more questions for you, Mike.
All right.
Because there was so much that we could have unpacked, but I mean, it is what it is, man. We're gonna do this again.
Yeah,
hopefully.
we gotta do it. Yeah, we'll definitely come back.
We'll do a part 2, man. So that you see how you guys like this one. But if you had the ultimate comedy special, you had 5 comedians, you hosting, who are your 5 comedians that you bringing on with you? All time.
All time?
Dead or alive?
Dead or alive. All right. Man, 5?
Yep. Who you opening up with?
Man.
Who you closing with? The middle can be, in any order.
Boy, that's tough. That's a good question. All right. Definitely would have, definitely Richard. He would be closing.
Okay.
I would definitely have Richard closing. Eddie.
He's opening?
No, Eddie be right before him. I'll go from top to bottom. Right?
Okay.
So Richard, Eddie, boy, I would say Bernie Mac.
I ain't scared of you, man.
Yeah, Bernie. 2 more. Oh man, that's tough, man. That is tough. I would say before Bernie, I would do Paul Mooney.
Okay.
Paul Mooney would be good to have.
All right,
in
you
there.
son of a bitches.
Yeah. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I tell you, another white woman ever come up to me, I'll smack the bitch. God, I love him. And then, man, opening. Mm-hmm. Man, that's man, there's so many I could put in there. That's such a good question.
Yeah,
I would say, you know what? I'm going to take it old school. Pay homage. I mean, I would have to go with Bill. Bill Cosby.
Bill Cosby, open it up.
Yep. Because he's like you get to sit down, you're working your way up to pop.
Yeah.
You get a little bit of hypeness, and then Richard will bring it home.
Coming to the stage, y'all know him as Mr. Pill Bill.
Man, that's hilarious. Yeah, like I remember I was watching somebody, I think it was Chris Rock, talking about Bill Cosby. Say he watched Bill Cosby do 2 2-hour shows and didn't repeat one thing.
Really? Just loading up different material.
Didn't repeat one thing, and back-to-back shows.
That's dope.
2 2-hour shows and didn't repeat a thing.
That's dope. He was a legend back in the day.
Yeah.
A lot
he
of
still
people,
is.
Yeah, he's still a legend.
I don't care what.
They killing him right now.
What he did is what he did, but you can't take away the talent.
Yeah.
You know,
The talent and the work, the body of work.
Yeah, I mean, he's done so much.
Yeah.
You know, and I hate that. I'm not throwing all that away for. I mean, what he did was whatever.
Right.
You know, that's a whole nother thing. But you can't unfunny.
No, you
can't
laugh.
go back and be like, nah.
I ain't laughing.
I'm taking that back.
Right.
Taking that back. And I listen to Bump and Grind. I ain't scared of it.
You still listen to some R. Kelly?
Man, I'm sorry.
I listen to R. Kelly,
Look,
man.
did you hear that? What he just did? He did the remix on the prison phone and killed it.
Word?
Yeah, I forgot they had this new thing out. Everyone's singing this new thing, and he did it over the phone and murked it.
Oh man!
Man, stop playing with the pipe.
He ain't gonna lose his. He ain't gonna the Piper R&B.
I know. He getting the pipe. We should call him the piped piper.
Yo,
now,
bro, he getting worked. He's singing it. He yodeling out in there.
Man, them brothers. I saw one video. He out there in the middle singing, and everyone's just sitting back. I mean, how you gonna do time and get a good concert at the same time?
He you think he'll ever get out?
Yeah.
You think Diddy going in?
Yeah. Diddy going in. But I don't know. Some things came up to where it sounded like
it's gonna be washed away.
Yeah, because like if he got a RICO charge, like where's all the other people?
They hiding.
I mean, they got to have something to put him in there, right? Or no, they don't.
It's just a lot of money that these folks got.
Well, they're like, yo, just get those tapes out of his house and then let them go.
They got them already. They've been watching them on repeat.
Go back, pause it.
Pause it real quick. Let's see who that was. Yep, that was
right
her.
there.
Yep, that was her right there. I knew it. It's my last question, man. It's a special question. It's the ultimate question. So,
right.
You know, in true form, it's all about authenticity, resilientness, and stepping into your purpose, Mike. What does being in true form mean to you, and how does it embody your everyday life?
Oh man, true form. Actually, man, just being you, just being real, just being honest. It took me a minute to be honest with myself. So now that I am, I just relish in it. And yeah, man, just try to be a good person, man.
Yeah.
Just try to spread positivity. And just hopefully my jokes make the world a little happier, you know. But
Will, man.
definitely just living in my truth.
Yeah.
And because there's a lot, the world we live in is a lot of fakeness that's covered in reality.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we get lost in that. And I think as long as you're true to yourself, I think that'll shine. And then you'll get the right, like when you're true to yourself, the true people, the real people come into your life.
That's true.
So that's why I try to live now, especially now.
Word. What is I typically say 3, but what is one main thing that you're thankful for right now?
Air, breath.
Yeah.
You know, losing my mom, dealing with my dad, dealing with death around me. I'm like, my friends are passing away. You know, it's like every day you wake up is a blessing.
Yeah.
And I think we take advantage of the life we have, definitely. So, like, you know, going through what I'm going through definitely woke me up to live.
Yeah.
Instead of living to die, I'm living to live.
Right.
And I think that's something we got to remind ourselves to do, because we get caught up in regular life and it pulls us in so many different directions. But man, just live, we are our own destiny.
Facts.
So if we can spread that to others, man, this place will be a better place.
Man, I appreciate it, man. There's some strong words from Mello Mike here.
I didn't mean to make it so smooth. And
No,
shit.
man.
Yeah,
Man, you know, you got a little mixture of Billy D. Williams mixed with a little bit of, you know, what's my man named?
James Earl.
James Earl Jones, Lawrence Fishburne when he was on Boys in the Hood, though, because he was out there on the side of the street and he was just like, man, you killing the rock, spreading the rock. You guys know what y'all doing. You remember he was out there preaching to Trey and his son.
Shout out to Lawrence Fishburne.
Man, I love Lawrence Fishburne. I love all these actors and actresses, and but yeah, man, I appreciate you all for tuning in once again to In True Form. I promise you that I'm gonna get faster at closing my show out. Because my wife always messes with me with closing. She's like, speed up, talk a little faster. But I like talking like this because, you know, when you around someone that's mellow, you can be a little mellow.
Hey man, you can sit back and chill. Man. That's what it is.
I appreciate you showing up, man. And
thank you for having me.
You know,
man.
you got my blessings, man. You got
thank you, brother.
All my love and energy is being put on you.
No, thank you. Man.
Again, peace out. Tune in. Check y'all. Have a great day. But yeah, man.